There we go. Can you hear me? There we go. Thank you, Josh, and hello, Josh. Just a question regarding sort of the locker room area, because like the Forbidden Door with Impact and AEW and AAA and New Japan and NWA is swinging off the hinges. As fans, it's amazing because we're getting all kinds of dream matches, and you are in the premier match of Bound for Glory. But what's the vibe with people like yourself, Josh, and Impact OG, with this influx of talent from other places? Is it a challenge to get in amongst it? Obviously, you've punched to the main event of Bound for Glory, but what's the vibe with so many new faces constantly coming in and out from a backstage perspective, from an Impact OG?
I would say that it's all the same for a fan and a wrestler. I think we're all just like chomping at the bit for these opportunities. And when I say that, it's because the Forbidden Door leaves opportunities for wrestlers to show they can compete with these people from other companies. So it's all sort of like a competitive thing. Like me as an Impact member of the locker room, and we as the Impact locker room, we want to show that, you know, we can compete with AEW, we can compete with New Japan, we can compete with AAA, we can do all this stuff. And like, if you put us on the marquee with all these guys, then we're going to stack up against them every single time, because our locker room is like, we have a deep locker room, and we just want to show it. We're all competitive, and we all want to fly the Impact banner as much as we can. So we embrace it.
I'm excited to see you fly it against Christian over the weekend. Best of luck, and thanks for taking my question. Cheers.
Thanks, Tom.
Tom, appreciate it. Once again, guys, just a reminder, and this is coming from Ross, not me. I would love to talk to you guys all day, but we do have about 43 minutes left. We will conclude at the top of the hour, just so everyone is aware. And with that being said, we want to get to everybody as quickly as we can, so I will keep my spiels in between as short as possible. Up next, our buddy Riju from Sportskeeda in India. Riju, I have no idea when we're coming back to India, buddy, so don't even ask me.
I will not. Congratulations, Josh. It's a big... Is it the biggest match of your career? And my actual question is that we have... learned from D'Lo Brown. I mean, I was checking out an interview of his. He compared you to Impact Hall of Famer Kurt Angle. What do you think of this comparison?
First, yes, I would say that this match, the Saturday Night Bound for Glory, is the biggest match of my career. If you took out the fact that it's against a legend, not only in Impact Wrestling, but in the sport of professional wrestling and Christian, me just being in the main event and wrestling for that world championship would be the biggest match of my career. And it gets even bigger, and the pressure gets even higher when you add someone like Christian that I have to defeat in order to, you know, have that all materialize. But as for the D'Lo Brown comment, I've had that comparison dropped a few times, and you know, it's always super flattering because Kurt Angle's one of like my heroes as a fan coming up as a wrestling fan. You know, he would always be somebody that I'd try to kind of like take things from, and especially that intensity that he carried in the ring. So if I can remind anybody of that to the point where they want to compare me to them, especially somebody who's been in the ring with him like D'Lo Brown, like it's just flattering.
Thank you, and congrats, and best of luck for your upcoming match.
Thank you.
Reesh, thanks, buddy. I still don't know when we're coming back to India, just for the record. Coming up next, and I'm not just saying that, guys, I'm not just saying this next part because of who's next, but just a reminder to try to keep it to one question per media member so that we can get through everybody. And with that said, Stephanie from Steel Chair Magazine over in France. Stephanie, hello.
Hi, Josh, and hi, Josh. Josh,
hello.
Josh. Ooh. How are you?
I'm doing well, you know, getting ready for Saturday.
The pressure. I wanted to ask you, what was the biggest pride of this X Division ride, and maybe the fav match, and the best of this incredible ride as an X Division champion.
I liked so much of what I was able to do. Matches against like Chris Sabin and Jake Something spring to mind as like some of my favorite matches of all time. Like it was great to be able to do that while I was on the X Division run. But the one that's going to stick out of my mind forever, and it's going to go down in history as one of my greatest accomplishments is that Ironman match against TJP. Just being able to do that in front of no fans, and then, you know, for it to get as much, you know, fanfare as it did, and to like give back to us for like all the hard work we were able to do. It just having that opportunity to go 60 minutes on a television program is something that not all the wrestlers are going to be able to say they did. So it's always going to live, you know, as something great in my mind.
Wishing you the best for Saturday night.
Thanks, everything.
Stephanie, thank you. Appreciate it. We love Steel Chair Magazine over here. I read it every day. James Walsh from the Wrestling Epicenter. Hello, James. Welcome to Press Pass with the Walking Weapon. You can get Josh Alexander's T-shirts at shopimpact.com. But, James, what's your question for the number one contender for the World's Championship?
Should have talked to you guys. Thank you for having me today. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got
you, bud.
Oh, cool. All right. So I had the opportunity to interview you shortly after you won the X Division Championship. It was your goal, you said. It was the goal that you had set for yourself in Impact Wrestling. This goal seems a little different now. Saturday night's a bigger stage, a bigger platform, and a bigger title, arguably. What is your thoughts going into Saturday night, and how would being the Impact Wrestling Champion compare to being the X Division Champion?
I think the only difference between the two, you know, being champion of one or the other, is that as the Impact World Champion, you're kind of the face of the company. You're the one shouldering all the responsibility, not only for the company, but for the locker room, to lead by example and to, you know, go out there and perform every single time. Not that I didn't do that as X Division Champion. It's always something I'm going to do regardless. That's why I think stepping into this position as a potential world champion, I'm ready for that. And I wouldn't have given up Option C if I didn't think I was prepared and ready for this opportunity. So.
Awesome. Hoping the belt comes back to Impact, and hey, thank you so much for the time today.
No problem, please.
James, thank you very much for your question, James, from the Wrestling Epicenter. We will now go to Nathan from Body Slams and Dropkick Podcast. Nathan, welcome to Press Pass.
Thank you, Josh. Congratulations on saving yourself there. Josh, first of all, as a fellow Canadian, it is an honor and a privilege to be talking to you right now, and it's going to be an honor and a privilege watching you at Bound for Glory. I just want to say that flat out. With the vein of flying that Impact flag, assuming you beat Christian Cage, are you going to show Kenny Omega from AEW how he should go about beating Christian, because he needs all the help he can get?
I think there's an amount of healthy competition between all Canadians in pro wrestling, especially between myself, Christian, and Kenny Omega at this moment, especially with that Impact World Championship being the topic of conversation. But, you know, I'll welcome anybody from that forbidden door to step through if I become Impact World Champion, and they'll have to prove that they can compete with me as champion in our locker room from then on out.
Absolutely. And I wish you the best of luck again this Saturday at Bound for Glory. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Edward.
All right, Nathan. Thank you very much for your questions and your backdrop there. We're going to go next to Lee from Perched on the Top Rope. Lee, you are up. What's your question for Josh Alexander?
Josh, how you guys doing today? My question stems from the fact that, Josh Alexander, you are 2-0 at Bound for Glory, and your opponent, Christian Cage, is 1-2. Not only do you kind of have the upper advantage there, but this will be the first time at Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory that it is two Canadians going for the Impact Championship. How does that make you feel, knowing that you will actually be breaking history, win, lose, or draw, being the first Canadians for the championship?
I mean, it's no question. If you look at my ring gear, you see Maple Leafs all over it. And it's, you know, you see the flag on my ring shirt. Like, I take a lot of pride in being a Canadian wrestler. I think that this country has produced some of the most talented wrestlers of all time over the past, you know, few decades. It's been, you know, generational. Christian, obviously, one of the ones from the 90s that came up and just made a name for himself alongside Edge. And as me being a fan when I was younger, watching like a Canadian showcase, like if it was something like Brett and Owen or something like that. Like I took a lot of pride in that. So if any Canadians are watching this on Saturday night and they can see this and take a lot of pride in a couple Canadians going out there to the main event and, you know, tearing the house down, that's very special to me.